What exactly is childhood trauma?
Childhood trauma is the certain events or situations that a child has faced in the childhood. It can be because of natural calamities, it can be because of the family that he is brought up, it is because of the environment that is brought up, certain experiences which a person faces, and that remains as memories. Childhood trauma, why it is so important is that it leaves an imprinted memory.
Till 7-8 years उस बच्चे में कोई फिल्टर ही नहीं है. वो जो देखेगा, जो सुनेगा, जो फील करेगा, उसको पूरा सच मान के वो चलता रहता है.
Absolutely right.
सबकॉन्शियस माइंड और कॉन्शियस माइंड के बीच का फिल्टर है, वो सारी चीजें उसमें स्टोर्ड रहती है, जो जिंदगी भर काम करती रहती है.
Yes. From 1 year to 3 years is the father bonding stage, and at that stage the child develops security. So those people who face insecurity in life, it comes from where they lack the father bonding stage. And even there, I have got so many clients who feel, I don't know love. I don't know what is love. What does love feel like? But whenever I do couple therapy, I do individual therapy first. Individually, their wounds need to be healed. When they heal, they come together as two beautiful human beings.
मैम आप बताइए, आप इतने सारे लोगों को हेल्प करते हैं, उनका काउंसलिंग करते हैं, सो आप खुद का आपका मेंटल स्टेट यूजुअली कैसा रहता है एट द एंड ऑफ द डे?
Very calm, because it doesn't really affect my emotions. When we go through a process, the first thing when we do counseling is we have to go ourselves through a process. So our baggages are all removed. So I consider the persons to be with the person.
At the end of the day, so you don't feel drained because you've learned the process?
I have not only learned the process, according to me, I consider myself insignificant, just an instrument. So whatever the person comes, I lift up. When that person is gone, it is not finished. My work is over here. Rest the Almighty will do.
Nice.
That
it's
is
almost
my
like healing.
Yeah.
No, you are the instrument. There's
I
another
consider
energy.
myself just an instrument. Let the Almighty, the person has come to me because of a problem sent by the Almighty. So I just release it, and it is, and so there is no baggage. I am just done my work.
True. And what exactly is psychological therapeutic counselling?
Okay.
Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So what we mean by, see, suppose you have seen a waterfall, right? So the waterfall is with a flow. There is a flow. And if in that waterfall we put lot of stones there, the flow will be obstructed, drained. The flow will not be the way it has to go.
Right.
So our life is like that. Life has to go in a flow. That is what we are made for. But consciously, unconsciously, we put obstacles. Obstacles we don't even know. But we are not able to live the life we want to live.
Yes.
The psychological therapeutic counseling is understanding the blocks. When you talk to me, when a counselee comes to me, I don't go into the masala of the story, only understand what are the blocks in that person's life, where his emotions are blocked, and I try to remove those blocks. Those stones which is obstructing the flow of life.
Do we all put our own blocks, or the situation is like that?
Yeah.
The situation floats the
through
block.
life experiences, through our belief system, through everything, we unconsciously and consciously put certain blocks. We are not able to live the life. Like we feel suffocated, strangulated. We can't live the life we want to live. We are more concerned what others will think, what shame is there. We are unable to speak confidently. So these are all the blocks. So the whole journey is to transform that person. It is not advice. It is non-judgmental. It is just unconditional acceptance of the person and trying to remove those blocks.
Right. So, ma'am, I was surprised to know about this fact that whatever we are, हमारा जो भी है, बोला वो सब कुछ like इमेजिन 70 to 80% जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स हमें हो रही है वो चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा की वजह से हो रही है, और सिर्फ 10 या 20% है वो बाद वाली चीज़ों के बारे में. सो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा?
To understand childhood trauma, what exactly, if you say childhood trauma is the certain events or situations that a child has faced in the childhood. Childhood trauma it can be because of natural calamities, it can be because of the family that he is brought up, it is because of the environment that he is brought up, certain experiences which a person faces, and that remains as memories in our childhood. So those are the traumatic memories. It can be a chronic memory, means continuous exploitation of a child. That could be a chronic trauma. It could be an acute trauma, once in a way incident. One particular incident a child has seen, and that remains in the memory. Or it can also be a complex trauma where different situations are there and the child is somewhere traumatized. So different, but it remains. The difference is that childhood trauma, why it is so important, is that it leaves an imprinted memory. If you have to understand childhood trauma, I have to go a little bit further. Understood? So when a child is there, right from the conception stage, right from the conception stage till about 8, there are, if you consider our mind, it is a conscious mind and an subconscious mind. Okay, what is a conscious mind? Is what we do. We rationalize, we analyze, we decision making, all that is a conscious mind. Okay, then there is a critical filter in between this. There is a critical filter, and then there is this subconscious mind. So like an iceberg, you see only 10% of the mind is a conscious mind. 89 to 90% is a subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is a library. It's a library of experiences stored. Everything gets stored in the subconscious mind. So when it is a child, this critical filter which is there is not there when it is a child. It develops after the age of around 6 to 8 years old.
Okay. And that's why it absorbs the most. It
absorbs. That's why the child imitates and absorbs everything, and that goes into the subconscious mind.
So ma'am, can we say that it starts even when the child is not born?
Yeah.
He's still in the womb, but
yes.
Still it starts?
Still it starts. Because he absorbs the emotions of the mother. He absorbs the emotions of the mother. If the mother during the whole passage of pregnancy is very unstable, is very unhappy, it absorbs the feelings. It is the feelings which get stored in the memory. It is the feelings, and that feelings come about.
Imagine for parents, it's a great deal. Every parent tries to do their best. But still, how do you avoid your child to have any kind of traumatic experience? Can that be done by a parent?
Definitely. See, now parent may have come, we call that wounds. When a person is having certain things, they have got wounds.
Yeah.
So the parents itself may be having wounds.
Yeah.
So how the parent has become that adult, there are certain belief systems. There are certain experiences which each parent has got. So they will bring up the child with that experience. If in the childhood a parent has faced that beating is right. My father also beat me and I found it right. He corrected me. That is the right way of correction. But so he will start beating his child. But for child, that becomes a trauma. It could be the trauma could be different from person to person. It is what the child imitates and absorbs.
So do you think to be good parents, you actually need to take some kind of training or to know that, dude, this will be traumatic for your child, so don't do this. Can that be done?
See, the best way of parenting, even though you are, if you are considering parenting, the best way is motivation, appreciation, encouragement. These are the three magical wands. So these if you give and then inculcate values of respect, gratitude, honesty, these are values which you can incorporate, responsibility in small ways. When you inculcate these values in a child, the child will definitely come up to be a wonderful individual.
Right.
So you are molding that and understanding, aware that you yourself are with certain flaws. So you should not be aware of the flaws and not let it come on the, reflect it on the way you treat your child.
True. What exactly is this exploration when we say?
Okay. So exploration, whenever I do a session, it's a counseling session. Now counseling does not mean, is not advising. It is not, why not advising? Not advising because your world is different, my world is different. So whatever I will advise you will come from my world.
Yeah.
Right? So I cannot impose on you my world because it won't be applicable to you. So for that, first I have to develop, I have to take the permission of the client and say that I want to enter your mind. Suppose I am entering your house, I ring the bell, what would you do? You would welcome me inside the house.
Yeah.
You will make me sit down. Same way, when I want to enter your mind, you have to take the permission that allow me, trust me first of all. There is a principle of confidentiality. Whatever you say will remain with me. Nobody else will know. So once you develop that trust, the person is ready to open up. And I can go deeper only through empathy and probe.
Yeah.
Deeper empathy will allow the person, open the gates for knowing the person better.
Yeah.
And that is exploration.
And so do you actually ask for permission to
Yeah,
people?
definitely.
You do ask them.
I tell them I'm grateful that you are giving me the permission. Because you're keeping your life in front of somebody else.
Right. And how easily people open up?
Yeah, the people who come for counsel, first of all, we don't force somebody.
Yeah.
The person is coming realizing that I need some healing. I need something going wrong that I need. I am not able to, I have a low self-esteem. I fear conflicts. I fear domination. I feel numb. Something the person realizes.
Yes.
Or there is a pattern of behavior. Suppose relationships are getting failed. Something is happening that always my partner is cheating. Again I marry again. Or aggression is continuing and there is destruction. So I know something is wrong with me. So I will feel that I need help.
Right.
And I will come. So it comes with an intention that I am ready to open up and tell every bit and corner of my life to you.
So ma'am, I think most of the people face these issues, right? So what kind of people actually choose a therapy? Can we call this therapy?
Yes, yes, definitely. People who face all these, like what I said, they cannot face the authorities. When authoritative things, suppose is a person working in a corporate and he is at a higher position, he has to face higher ups.
Yes.
He has to, but suppose he will get always numb.
Yeah.
So then there is a problem. Or suppose he always feels that ashamed, like he feels that the whole world is looking at me. So wants to be socially not wanting to move around. So he knows, awareness that something is wrong with me, low self-esteem.
And I want to get better.
Better, yeah, negative self-outlook.
Yes.
Yeah, all these things make the person feel that there is something going wrong.
So क्या होता है exactly therapy में? कैसे ये चीज़ें सही होती है?
So what do I do is, first of all, there is a catharsis. So when the person comes, first there is a absolute rapport building where I will tell him all these things, that I want to enter your world, give me the permission. And then there will be a slow opening up, he's ready. And as I empathize and as I probe, I go deeper and deeper, and there is a complete catharsis of the complete life. But in 80% of whomever I have counseled till today, 80 to 85%, I feel that it always comes from some childhood wounds. The root, unless the root is known, we can't heal that wound. Whatever you appear to be, the negative self-esteem or whatever you show people to be is just a shadow behavior. What has happened in the childhood, the child has taken a defense coping mechanism to face that trauma which he has faced in the childhood. So the trauma that he has faced, he adopts a defense mechanism. Like for example, suppose there are authoritative parents or criticizing. So he feels that a flight mode or running away from the situation is solving that problem.
So that person always runs away from.
So he runs away. So when he grows up and he has to face, he will always try to run away from a situation. So the same defense mechanism which helped him when he was a child becomes a hurdle, a shadow behavior when he becomes an adult.
Shadow behavior means my everyday behavior.
Everyday behavior.
That's called acha.
Yeah.
So how do you get to know that, oh, he comes to you and he tells you, ma'am, this is my issue, you know.
Yeah.
Suppose self-confidence is my issue. Now you dig deeper in his life.
Yeah.
And then it's your job to find out, oh, these are the incidents that has shaped him.
Yes. So first we will get to the emotion. What is the emotion that is really stuck inside? So when we realize that it is childhood, mainly there are 7 parental mirrors which a child takes in. So the child who has got this trauma is having one of the 7 parental mirrors. One of the 7 parental mirrors.
What are parental mirrors?
Are the way he has absorbed the parent's behavior. See, to give you a little more understanding is that when we develop ourselves, it is at the age of what age we develop, what age we understand emotions. Which is that age?
I think we understand emotions at a very early age, you know?
At 6 months we understand empathy. A very difficult emotion is empathy. When another child cries, we also feel like crying. That is empathy. We don't imitate that child. We feel for that child. So that is empathy. So that develops just at 6 months. So at 1 year, till 1 year, the child feels is one part with the mother, is joined with the mother. So after 1 year, he becomes independent, feels that I am separate. So, but at 1 year, can the child develop the self that we consider self? Can that person develop? No. So the person, so he imitates and absorbs whatever he sees. And that goes straight in the subconscious mind. So from there we understand. So these are the mirrors. We call that what he sees and imitates is the mirror.
Mirror. So there's 7 mirrors. First year is very, very important.
Very important.
What would be your advice to parents, or especially the mothers, to be with your child or to be very conscious with your child during that first year?
Yes, very, very important. The first year is called the mother bonding stage. The first year is the mother bonding stage, right from the time of conception. So at that stage, the mother has to fulfill 5 needs of the child, basic 5 needs of the child. So the first need is feeding. The second need is touch. The third need is looking at the eyes of the child. There has to be eye contact with the child. Then the smell of the mother. That is called pheromones. That is the smell of the mother. And last, it is the rocking. She has to rock with the child. So if the 5 needs a mother does, the child feels loved. The emotion of love and trust comes from here.
I mean, mothers these days, when they are not able to fully be there for the child, you know, because of the work commitments, because of the career, so can it be one of the trauma reasons for the child?
Definitely. If the child is crying and doesn't get a feed, he doesn't know mother what. When he's crying, doesn't get a feed, or when he's in pain and is not touched, or is just left like that during that stage, there will be some parental mirror of feeling unloved and can't trust people, because the significant person for whom he is, he cannot trust that person. So that feeling, so right there, when he becomes an adult, he is unable to trust anybody. And even there, I have got so many clients who feel, I don't know love. I don't know what is love. What does love feel like?
Wow.
So, because that stage, they have not experienced love.
Love, right. मैम, हमने अभी मदर के रोल के बारे में इतना डिस्कस किया, बट फादर का भी कोई ना कोई रोल होगा ना, इम्पोर्टेंट रोल.
Yes. Like how I said, up to the 8 years of age, it is very important. The child का growth है. So, mother's role is most important up to 9 to 1 year of age.
Okay.
After 1 year of age, it is the father bonding stage. So, from 1 year to 3 years is the father bonding stage. And at that stage, the child develops security. So, those people who face insecurity in life, it comes from where they lack the father bonding stage. So, how close the father is, how father keeps the child secure gives a long-term result.
Wow. And what after that? What after 3 years?
Yeah, then it is the environment, then it is the school bonding stage. That's why pre-primary teachers, very important, how they groom the child. So, wherever the child grows, that becomes that stage till 8 years. So, because of the no filter there, everything gets absorbed and imitated. It is only later, and these all what experiences, what belief systems he develops become a part of that critical memory which is there in between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So, they are all stored there. So, whatever he has experienced in these 8 years become either beliefs or positive or negative associations.
So, ma'am, if I can articulate this in another way, till 7-8 years, उस बच्चे में कोई फिल्टर ही नहीं है. वो जो देखेगा, जो सुनेगा, जो फील करेगा, उसको पूरा सच मान के वो चलता रहता है.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
और जो आपने कहा सबकॉन्शियस माइंड और कॉन्शियस माइंड के बीच का फिल्टर है, वो सारी चीजें उसमें स्टोर्ड रहती है.
Correct.
जो जिंदगी भर काम करती रहती है.
Yes.
So, ma'am, you spoke about the 7 parental mirrors.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little more on these mirrors and how does it impact the behavior of a child?
Yeah. See, the first thing we should understand that as an adult, whenever we face somebody talking to us or blaming us, we will put the blame on somebody else. That is an adult behavior. But a child, whatever the child experiences, always it is an inward. It will feel that something is wrong with me. That is why my parent is behaving like that. Either I am good, either I am not good, whatever it is. So, the way they treat him, he feels that something is wrong with me. So, when we go deeper into the parental mirrors, there are 7 parental, like have I told you. So, the first mirror is of neglect, which you had first only told about. So, where the child is neglected. So, when the child gets neglected, what does the child feel? Unloved. I am unloved. That is why I have nobody. So, the first mirror is of unloved. The second parental mirror, which is where the child is emotionally rejected or abandoned. Most of the children in the orphanages, where they feel abandoned, rejected. So, they feel I am worthless is the mirror they develop. So, when they develop this I am worthless, it definitely will affect their self-esteem when they grow up, because they don't consider themselves worthwhile at all. Whatever they do, they will feel worthless. You are getting me? So, the third mirror is where the parents are verbally abusive and like what you say, shaming, criticizing all the time, that you have not done this properly, you have to correct this, otherwise you look like one. I know of a friend whose mother always used to say your face is like one shoe or something like that. Or another one whose mother used to say your legs are not proper, you have come with some bad omen. So, all the while these small critical comments that you are good, hopeless, you can't do this, like that. So those critical comments make a child feel I am bad, I am unacceptable. So when it becomes big, he develops the feeling of shame, and shame is such a worst emotion. Every sort of emotions like fear, anger and all that can easily be healed. But shame is something, because shame envelops the person. Shame, a person feels everybody is looking at me all the time. So becomes very conscious of himself. All the while very, very conscious. And always on the defensive. Always ready to attack. Feels absolutely like a victim. So shame has, if at all a therapy has to be done, has to be converted into fear and anger and then healed. So this is the repercussion of just a small criticism where the child imbibes. So this is the third parental mirror. Now the fourth parental mirror is where the person feels over controlling and tyrannical parents. So many are cases where the father is either very dominating or my way is the highway and you have to do. So when the child observes that and sees everybody in the house or everybody, sometimes the mothers also can be very dominating, very, very dominating. So the mirror that a child gets is that I am powerless. I have no power at all. So doesn't have an identity of his own at all. So he feels that, so he feels numb. So such a person, when he becomes big, he is unable to face authorities. He always runs away from conflicts. Before there is a conflict, he tries to escape from the conflict because it triggers back this memory.
Right.
So this is the fourth parental mirror. The fifth parental mirror is where the parent is very perfectionist. I want it this way only. And they think that this is a very wonderful quality. So they try to imbibe this on the child, that it has to be perfect. Even a little here and there, like even a child secures little 1%, no, it is not. It has to be like this. This has to be like that. You know, they may not be, on the face of it, they may not be imposing on the child like a dictator, but they want perfection all the time. So what a mirror the child gets is that only success matters, only achievement matters. If I don't achieve, I don't matter. Only if I achieve, it is mattering. So the person becomes an overachiever, tries to do, because he's trying to come in level with the father's expectations.
Right.
How much ever, today the father may not be there, but he's just running after something just to fulfill that expectation. So that is the mirror that a person develops with a perfectionist parent. The sixth mirror is where the parent is a narcissist. Where the parent is a narcissist, the child develops that because the narcissist only concerns about himself. So the child does not gets the feeling that I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough at all. So the child feels as though the child has got no identity of its own. So always he will be that the parent is something, I am not. Right. I am nothing. I am absolutely a not good enough person. So even when the person becomes something in life, he is always feeling this is not good enough. I am not good enough. So this is what a result of a narcissist parent. And the last parent, if we see a smoothering parent, according to us, smoothering will be taking care of every need of the child.
Smoothering is giving everything.
Giving everything. That is
Right.
called smoothering.
Right.
So a smoothering parent, the result, the child gets a feeling that I can't do anything without my parents. For everything I require them. I am useless without my parent. So the person can't be independent, cannot take decisions, is codependent all the time, wants validation all the time, whether it's right, wrong, it's always confused. This is the result of a smoothing parent. So these are the 7 parental mirrors, and because of which the whole the personality of the child gets completely hampered, because everything the child takes it as though it is personally. It is I, something wrong with me, and I am flawed, I am not proper. So gets a complete not okay feeling about himself.
और एक्चुअली ये 7 चीज़ों में ऑलमोस्ट इन सारी चीज़ों में इन 7 चीज़ों में नेगेटिव एस्पेक्ट्स जो हर इंसान के होते हैं, जो उनको लगते हैं, वो सब इसमें आ गया है.
Right.
पता है मैम कितनी बार हमने ये सुना है व्हेन पेरेंट्स डू दैट, इफ दे हैव 2 किड्स, सो देखिए अरे ये वाली तो हमारी है ना, ये बहुत ही शर्मीली है, ये तो बहुत शाय, ये कुछ नहीं करती. वो वाली है ना हमारी बड़ी वाली, वो बहुत बोल्ड है, वो बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट है, तो ये छोटी वाली को तो हमेशा से यही लगेगा कि आई एम लाइक दिस.
यस, आई एम नॉट गुड इनफ.
या और पेरेंट्स कभी कभी प्यार से ही बोलते हैं और मस्ती में बोलते हैं.
करेक्ट.
बट
दिस कंपैरिजन क्रिएट्स अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स. अननोइंगली, अनकॉन्शियसली it creates a huge lot of problems.
So मैम हमें इतने सारे ये इश्यूज के बारे में समझा. अब एक इंसान को अगर ये इश्यूज खुद के लिए सॉल्व करने हैं, so what can the person do?
Yeah, so now these are the parental mirrors. This he has realized, acknowledged. Yes, definitely I have these parental mirrors. So they can always be resolved.
A person would know that these are my issues. I have a self-esteem issue. I have an issue with aggression.
Yeah.
But I might not know that these are linked to certain mirrors.
Correct.
That's okay?
Yes, that's perfectly okay.
Okay.
So even if he realizes I have aggression as a problem.
Yes.
Like I can give you one example. There was one person who had failed marriages, who had, he was a top person, but he couldn't discuss in meetings. It was always an aggression which was coming out. And when he came to me, I took him as a client, it was just a small childhood problem where he was a slow learner. And to express himself, he had to, because nobody was accepting him. He was unaccepted, he was feeling unaccepted. So to express himself, he had to literally force people to aggressively tell something, then people would look at him. Otherwise, he was always considered a slow learner.
In his childhood?
In his childhood. So, he was always looked down upon, always left aside. So, he had valid points to express, valid things to express. He could not, because nobody was considering him. They were considering him slow, jaane do. And when he had to express something, he had to put his point across aggressively. And that brought about a complete aggressive personality in him.
And that affected his relationships.
It affected his relationships, affected his job, affected his decision, affected the people around him. So interpersonal skills got affected. And thus he came to me, because he was at the threshold of giving up.
Yeah.
That what is wrong with me?
Right.
He was at that threshold when he came to see. Okay. And when I took him down the memory lane, realized that this is the problem. It is only that the person has to realize where the hurt, the root is. Once the root gets healed, person transforms.
And how does the healing happen? Now, a therapist would know the root.
Yeah.
And then how do you heal that issue?
Then therapeutic. That's why I said psychological therapeutic. Sometimes you require therapy. Sometimes, like I'll give you an example of a person, even grief can very badly affect a person. Grief. Like I had one girl in the juveniles where she was at least twice come to the juvenile place, and n number of affairs, and at the age of 15 she had gone through a miscarriage, and all those things had gone, and twice, and everybody looked down upon her, and she was very aggressive, uncontrollable. It was only in one session when I went very deep into her and explored her completely, I realized the change in the behavior started only at the age of 6. From 6 there was a change in the behavior. And what was that change? Her father had expired. So that she had not processed that grief. The moment I did a therapy for processing the grief, this girl transformed like beautifully, beautifully, and she had so many beautiful qualities in her. She became a leader. She became something very different.
She actually transformed.
Transformed right in front of it. It just requires a 1 session or 2 sessions where you exactly know the emotion which is got blocked.
Imagine she was 6-year-old and she was so small, and still that grief
That was a turning point.
Yeah.
There was another case where the father had committed suicide. The child thought, she had come to me as an adult, but the person thought that I have resolved it. It was nothing. It is done. But after a process of this, I knew all her behavior was coming from there only.
Yeah.
And when I processed that, complete transformation.
So, ma'am, the usual रास्ता ये होता है कि इंसान अपने प्रॉब्लम को समझे and then he takes a therapy. He goes to an expert.
Okay.
Suppose उसे expert के पास नहीं जाना है, तो वो कैसे solve कर सकता है?
Correct. That is a very, very important question. Suppose he doesn't get a person where he can really get a good therapist, or he doesn't want to go to a definitely he just has to go into his child. First of all, accept it. Accept that this has happened to me.
This is my problem.
This is my problem. Awareness of the emotion. What normally we do is we try to run away from that emotion. Either we minimize it, deny that emotion, or we keep it on the side burner. We use these techniques because we don't want to face that emotion.
So, ma'am, can you give examples of these emotions? Usually, what emotions people go through?
They go through various emotions of aggression, over-anxiety, panic attacks.
Yes.
These are a lot. Nowadays, panic attack. What is panic attack? Panic attack is, first it is fear, a core emotion is fear, advanced to that is anxiety, and unattended anxiety is panic attack. So, the root is fear. So, where the fear comes from? What is the person frightened of?
He should ask himself.
Definitely. A lot of introspection is required.
Yeah.
Why a counselor helps is because certain areas, that is childhood memories, which we go through an inner child therapy. Like I said, the reintegrate your inner child is going through that, making the person aware of the childhood, taking him through a semi-hypnosis state.
The people remember the childhood?
Yes, definitely. So, but they don't know. It is somebody who guides them through that process. So, they are not aware about it. Main thing is finding the root, finding where that root is and healing that root.
Ma'am, if a person wants to heal himself or herself without going to the therapist, what can they do?
Yeah, definitely they can heal themselves. First of all, there has to be self-awareness. So, self-awareness can be developed in different ways, like becoming consciously aware, that is through meditation. One is through meditation. One is understanding the real you, going deeper, introspection into your life. Introspect your life as though unbiased, without any denial, it's okay. Reclaim that emotion.
Ma'am, sometimes some emotions are, so on the face, like, one can understand that, oh, I'm not confident, oh, I really get angry, or I need validation all the time. So these are like...
So these are the shadow behaviors, what I was talking about. So get to the core of it, get to the root, from where did it come? What happened in my childhood, or what happened in the passage of my life that I got these behaviors within me.
So that person has to go when he was as young as maybe till 7.
Till how much he can remember.
Okay.
How much the person can remember. So somewhere as he goes deeper and deeper into himself, he will realize that it is coming from here. So if it is coming from wherever the emotion, accept that emotion.
When you say coming from here, how would he know that it's coming from here? So probably he would have felt the same in these situations.
Yes. And before that, he will know that before, no, I was proper. After this, something started changing.
Right.
That is when you unbiasedly introspect inside yourself.
Right.
And there you will realize, yeah, now how should I change that? So first thing is reclaim that emotion. If I have felt absolutely pain, accept the pain. Instead of, normally what people do, they will try to minimize the emotion. They will try to redirect it,
Yeah.
or try different ways of not accepting that emotion. So accept that emotion. And then think, maybe it has happened to show me, maybe there is a purpose in life. Just accept that. And now what I can do. So once I, suppose it is coming from my parent. So the one way is to forgive them. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness doesn't mean you are releasing, you are helping somebody, or you are smaller or bigger. Forgiving is releasing yourself from them controlling you. You are allowing them to control you by unforgiveness. Even if the person is not there today, sometimes even if the person has expired, still you are unable to forgive. So that, release that emotion. Release it. So another way is accepting that some methods are taking spiritual help. Accepting that these are lessons taught by the Almighty, and so I should evolve into a better person. That is why maybe I have got such abusive parents. If you can't forgive them, take it in a spiritual way that I need to evolve. Because I can't let myself be damaged all my life. So ask spiritual help.
That's easier, I feel. Asking spiritual help is telling the universe that this is the issue that I'm facing. Please help me heal this.
Heal this.
The first
It
way...
works out in very beautiful
Yes.
ways. Yeah.
The first way is actually digging your past and then finding out, because every person will have at least 3-4 things in his life where he's not happy with himself, and then to really connect those dots can be...
There I feel there is a little bit of this. It is, you need to go deeper. Deeper is not, you need to know the root from where it comes. And then you, if you cannot forgive, then ask the spiritual help.
Yes.
And think that this thing has happened in my life to make me evolve. So I ask the grace.
Right.
Next is also try to understand yourself. Try to understand the core self, what you are really made for.
Purpose?
Try, yes, your main purpose of life, your true essence of life. Instead of revolving around all these things. Think that when you understand your true core, that I am something much better, I am made for something better, then why should I revolve around these small minor issues?
Do you think every person should think of his or her own purpose?
Definitely. Definitely. That helps the person to evolve.
What am I here for?
What am I here for? What is my purpose? And then the evolving starts. When the person's worth, see, the mirror is I'm worthless. So when the person feels that I'm made, I have been bestowed with these, my core has been with these values, which I can do so much is potential I have got. As long as he feels worthless, he doesn't understand the potential which is there within him. So the moment he realizes that, sees the potential, then he starts shining.
Ma'am, to find your purpose and to live a life for the purpose, it takes a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the purpose is not in alignment with the
Very
whole, what is the usual ways of living.
Yeah.
पैसे कमाओ, घर चलाओ, फैमिली का देखो. किसी का पर्पस कुछ अलग होता होगा, बहुत सारे लोगों का है. तो वो उस पे काम करना कभी-कभी मुश्किल हो जाता है. है ना?
But it is an effort which a person has to take within themselves. Understanding normally I used to say keep three pillars. One is your strengths. Understand your strengths. understand your limitations. And there was one case, one particular case where that girl, she had a problem, she had epilepsy right from her childhood. And so the doctor had told you can't conceive. But she had considered that as a weakness and not as a limitation. So,
so that's a
you're
difference.
getting my, yeah. So she knew her strengths. So the 3 columns are strength, limitations and weakness.
So the difference between limitations and weakness, we need to find it out.
Yeah. So if strengths, you can develop them, you should enhance them, you should leverage them. Well as limitations, you have to accept. Yeah, this is my limitation. I'm born with it. Nothing can be done about it. Okay.
Make peace with it.
Make peace with it. And weakness, try to convert it into strength.
Do you think usually we all waste lot of time converting weakness into strengths rather than really working on our strengths and making it bigger and bigger?
No, there is a, see, these issues which are, that is a weakness. I am not good enough is a weakness.
Right.
I am powerless is a weakness. I feel unwanted, I feel unacceptable, I am bad. These are weaknesses. So there is a need to convert them into your strength. So how do you convert them? Increase your self-worth. Understand the true purpose for which you are.
Yeah, how do you increase your self-worth?
Increase your self-worth that, see, whenever I give an analogy to anybody, is that what is life, Jeevan kya hai, and what you are brought into this world. Who brings you into this world? Your parents. Correct. But who actually wanted you to get that life is the Almighty. Correct.
Right.
It is just like getting water from a tap. So this was recently a case which I had done. She was abandoned by her mother and she was looked after by the grandparents. And so the mother was not a proper, she had loose virtues. So they used to always tell her, you will be like your mother only.
Oh.
You will be like your mother, and she had felt absolutely bad and unacceptable. I am bad.
Yeah.
I am horrible. So when I gave her that analogy, that what is a tap? Tap gives you water, right? Water, who is giving water? It comes from where? It comes through rain, it comes, and who it is coming from top?
Right.
Right. So tap is just a medium.
Yes. So
Our
don't
parents
worry.
are just mediums to bring us to existence, nothing more.
Yeah.
They are mediums. So if the tap is bad, if the tap is rusted, does the water become rusted? No. So when I told her, you are as pure as a flower, her whole, you could see the transformation there and then. So let the people tell you anything. You are pure, you are beautiful. Appreciate yourself. See, this is how you increase your self-worth.
Yeah, we're so colored by, from where we are coming, our parents, and absolutely impressionable. But we're not. We are absolute individuals, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Ma'am, how do these trauma affect relationships?
Oh, they can affect in numerous ways. Numerous ways. Just imagine you have come up with parents who have made you feel not good enough. So you will carry that in your relationship.
How do these childhood traumas affect relationship of a couple?
Yes, relationship of a couple or in any relationship. If you feel you are not good enough, so you will always feel as though, what can I do to make him happy? What can I do to, you will be at the bending end. So definitely the person is going to take advantage of you. So the other person will feel that, and it is you, every time you will feel, oh, he will, outside he must be cheating or outside something, because you feel within you are not good enough. Or if you feel you are bad, you are unacceptable, you will try every ways to be acceptable. You will try something over pleasing, overdoing.
Which never works?
Which never works.
So
the person will feel suffocated or feel something wrong.
Yeah.
And if he is also coming with some sort of that achieving, I am only achievement matters. Suppose the person comes with the thing that only achievement matters, nothing else matters. So he'll be achieving, going on, whether whatever he achieves is not happy. He is not happy at all. And he is not bothered about his spouse, he is not bothered about anything, he only wants to achieve and achieve and achieve and achieve. It will definitely disturb the life.
You must have dealt with so many couples. I want to understand what are the usual problems that couple go through.
That's why whenever I do couple therapy, I do individual therapy first. Individually, their wounds need to be healed. When they heal, definitely later on there is no problem at all. They come together as two beautiful human beings.
सीधा couple therapy करो तो
Never. It will never work. It will never. It will be a battleground.
Yeah.
It will be.
I can imagine how much time it takes for an individual to heal. I'm sure it depends on person to person.
It depends on person to person. I have got people with me for 3 years, 4 years also doing because of so many parental mirrors.
Right.
It is not, therapy, counseling is not problem oriented. It is not solution oriented. Like what is the normal thing people have got, you know. I have a problem, I'll go there is one quick fix, and I'll get it fixed and I'll come back.
ऐसा नहीं है.
नहीं. Counseling is transformation. Complete transformation of the way you look at the world.
मैम आजकल लोग कहते हैं कि क्या आजकल ये बच्चों को इतना डिप्रेशन हो रहा है, एंग्जाइटी हो रही है. हमारे टाइम पे तो हम तो थप्पड़ दे देते थे ना, सब सही हो जाता था. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक, यू नो, बीइंग अ चाइल्ड इन दिस एज इज मोर डिफिकल्ट, और पहले के ज़माने में इतना अवेयरनेस ही नहीं था?
सो पहले के ज़माने में द पीपल वर नॉट एबल टू स्पीक. इट वॉज कवर्ड विद रिस्पेक्ट. रिस्पेक्ट फॉर एल्डर के नाम पे यू वर मेड टू शट योर माउथ. Okay, now people are open with you, and the children openly talk, so there is a difference. So the earlier the people, because of respect, they have suffocated within, but the wounds have remained. They are wounded internally, but they don't want to show it in the open. But that wounds reflect when they become parents, and when they do the same thing with it, the child gets, but nowadays the child is open to expression. So that is the better part. The child is open to expression, so it doesn't affect so much, because what happens is when we are not able to respond, that is the problem. When you keep it within yourself, then these mirrors get affected. But if you are not keeping, you are openly telling back, it doesn't
matter. Wow. So you can say that my wound is healed when I start speaking about it.
Yes.
Nice. If I don't address my wound, does it become bigger and bigger?
Definitely, no. It will soar. Just imagine you have got a wound and you have unattended it. It will come there, but even a slight trigger will trigger that wound. You may have a horrible boss. So you are numb when you see a dominating boss. But why you become numb? Because it's triggering your childhood where you had a dominating parent.
Right.
Then that is getting triggered every time, and then that is getting, you're inviting that from the universe itself. You will go on getting that sort of pattern of behavior.
That's why you keep attracting very similar bosses, similar life
because
partners.
You are not evolved, your wounds have not been healed.
So you get attracted to certain kinds of people, or probably they keep coming to your lives. So basically it's not the problem with the other person, it's your problem. The boss might not be dominating, you feel he's dominating.
I cannot say that. My boss may be dominating. You have not learnt the art of dealing with domination. Your wound is not that, because the wound is getting triggered.
Right.
So if another person without that wound, the boss will be dominating on you and somebody else.
Yes.
But that person is without a wound. He will not bother about the domination.
Right. It won't bother him.
It won't bother. Nothing is getting triggered.
So ma'am, what all bad things can happen to people who've who've gone through sexual abuse.
You mean to say childhood sexual abuse?
Yes.
Yeah. So now the sexual abuse can be from a parent or it can be through any significant people. Okay. So if it is through a parent, what happens is at that sexual abuse and the child has not confided in the other parent, or the other parent has not taken more cognizance of it. So the child either becomes numb or gets a feeling I'm bad, unacceptable. It comes under that mirror. So once, like how I had explained about that girl who grief, and after that she completely a different, she was not bothered about, life went on, age went on, but her psychological age remained there only. We call that the psychological age,
When
where the person is blocked.
Whoa.
So here also in this case, the person gets blocked at that age, and rest life goes on. So that person may have, if n number of affairs, n number of relationships, n number of, it doesn't know what is happening unless that wound gets really healed.
So if a person goes through something at the age of 8, his psychological before 8, the psychological age
remains there.
remains the same. Ah.
So they may be completely numbed.
And then they go through all these activities without
really knowing that what they are doing. They are just not knowing that where life is taking, just it is just going on.
Right.
So if the sexual abuse is from a significant person, so then the person may develop that, and the parents have not taken cognizance. Then it will end up into rebellion, or it will end up into very deep rooted unresolved anger.
See, there's a difference. When it happens through parents, the person becomes numb.
Yeah.
When it happens to someone else, they become aggressive.
Unresolved anger will be constantly there, and that person will be not knowing from where the aggression is come.
True.
But in both the cases, the person literally stops. It is a big block, and it needs healing.
Right. So ma'am, when we were talking about behavior and personality, till the age of 14, you develop your personality. After 14, it's your behavior. So people who get into smoking habits, or when they become alcoholic, what do you think plays a role? Because that happens after 14.
Yeah.
So that's a behavior.
It's a behavior if it happens. So what happens, the root may be even in the childhood. It could be one of the parental mirror affecting and then developing into drugs. Like I know of some children, that boy was an adopted child. The day he came to know, parents were very good, but adopted. But the way they handled him, or the way he was feeling the feeling that I am coming, why did my parents leave me? Not that these people have adopted me. Why did my parents leave me? And that answer he was not getting. So he resorted to drugs. When he came to know this at a very late age. But the root is somewhere deep. But even if the person develops later because of peers, because of some other issues, he starts going into bad company. So that is behavior, and that can be changed.
Right. पता है मैम, इस पे मुझे एक बात याद आई कि ये जो चीज़ होती है ना, इमेजिन इफ़ यू आर अडॉप्टेड, तो मैं कभी कभी ऐसे रैंडम सवाल अपने आप को पूछती हूँ कि आज के दिन अगर मुझे ये पता चले कि आई एम एन अडॉप्टेड चाइल्ड, तो मुझे कैसा लगेगा. और मैं अभी हाइपोथेटिकली अगर सोचूं तो मुझे लगता है मुझे शायद कुछ ना लगे, क्योंकि इतना प्यार दिया है, इतनी अच्छी अपब्रिंगिंग है, तो आई वोंट इवन गो लुकिंग आउट फॉर माई पेरेंट्स. बट आई डोंट नो, इट्स वेरी हाइपोथेटिकल. तो आपको क्या लगता है कि लोगों का क्या रिएक्शन होता है?
It's a very sad situation. It's a very, very sad situation, because hypothetically you are not imagining or feeling what that child is feeling. The truth is, the child feels I am abandoned.
Yeah.
I was rejected. Even if the child comes to know that my mother had tried aborting me and still I came, how much ever the child may get love and affection, the child feels I was unwanted. I was rejected, and that rejection will stay.
Yeah, you're right. I might not be going deeper into my feelings. True. Nirmala ma'am, thank you so much for such an enlightening conversation. कितनी सारी चीज़ें जो हमें नहीं पता थी और वो आपने इतने अच्छे से हमें बताई. Thank you. I hope it really helps me and many others. You know, अगर आपको एक एडवाइस देनी है या एक या दो एडवाइस देनी है हमारे लोगों को, तो आप क्या देंगे?
First of all, I am grateful and thank you for giving me this opportunity. This was one subject which is very, very close to my heart, and that is about the reintegrate your inner child. So how important it is, and I want this to be spread. The more people understand this, the more people realize, they will start uncovering themselves, discovering their true essence, and not binding themselves in locks like alcohol or drugs or all those things, and transform themselves into beautiful human beings.
So it should be an everyday, like a usual exercise to actually
Go deeper into yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, and give some time to yourself. You are unique. Feel yourself, you are the best creation of the Almighty, and feel gratitude for that. And that is my best advice. And the second thing is, I feel people should read more about these books. There are beautiful books like Healing Your Emotional Self by Beverly Engels. Then there is Heal Yourself by Louise Hay. Then there is another book of Heal the Shame That Binds You by John Bradshaw. These are a treasure of information which people should read, and people should realize their true value and their true essence.
True. Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're really grateful to you.
Yeah, thank you very much.